In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make a really fun wavy kind of design on the walls of your basket. I'm at the point of my basket where I'm going to start doing it right here. I'm going to be starting with a new piece of yarn, a new color, which I've already added. So go ahead and add a new color, or if you want to even continue with the color that you were using, that's fine too. Just whenever you start your design, you want to make sure that you're starting with the start of the new round. You can tell when you're starting the new round by looking at the center of your basket, and you have this curvature right here. This is where you start. So you can see that I am in line with that curvature where I'm starting the design. And you can also see where I've added a new color here and went back to the other color here. It's all lined up nice and neat. So let's go ahead and get this started. So what I'm going to do with my yarn here, I'm just going to wrap a few times. So that's like maybe a half of an inch here. I'm going to go run one more time because I'm doing the figure 8 stitch. And I am going to do the figure 8 stitch right here. So I'm going to be attaching this top rope to this rope underneath. So I'm going to get my needle. It's going to go under here. I'm going to pull it through. Okay. So now for the figure 8 stitch, we're going to come around the back here, and then we're going to bring that yarn in between the two ropes. So you can see what's going to happen here. I'm going to show you from the side. If you follow my yarn, you see that design. It's going to be creating that figure 8. Okay. Just going to bring this through. Okay, so back to what I was doing. So bringing this yarn through, and then we're going to just continue to wrap. So now this is the first part of the wave, and I am just going to wrap, well, I'm going to be wrapping probably about 4 inches of this rope. And what you can do is size up the size of the wave that you want by bending your rope. So I want mine to be about this tall, which I'm going to grab my ruler here. That is about 2.5 inches in height. So go ahead and do that. And then we are just going to wrap away. I'm actually going to turn the camera off for this part because I'm going to be able to get my wrapping done a lot faster if I hold the basket in my lap. That's actually how I normally do it. I like to hold my baskets nice and close to me. I feel like I have better control over the stitching when I do it that way, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm obviously doing it on the table here. But I'm going to turn the camera off now, and I will meet you back when I get this section wrapped. Okay, so I'm back around. And before I go any further, I should mention that when I wrap away from my body. So if you're wrapping the other way, if you're wrapping towards yourself, just know that the stitches, you're going to be doing it backwards than how I'm doing it. But the process is the same. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm just going to wrap one more time, and I'm going to bring it all the way through. Now, what I need to do, I'm going to start to shape that wave, and I need to attach these 2 pieces of rope here. Bring this closer so you can see right there. And I'm going to attach them using a figure 8 stitch. So I'm going to go around here and grab my needle here. So now I'm going to go through this space underneath here. You can see it right there. And pull through. And this is where I want to hold everything in place nice and tight. If I don't hold this really tight, then the stitch is going to be loose, and this is how my wave is going to look. And if you want it to look like that, fine. But I don't. I want it nice and tight. So I'm going to use my one hand to hold it in place, and I'm going to pull really tight here. And now I'm going to go back around. But what I'm going to do to lock this in place, I'm actually going to take my needle and I'm going to go back underneath and pull it through, all while holding, my left hand is holding the yarn in place. Now I'm going to kind of switch that, keeping that nice and tight. And then I'm going to pull again on the yarn here, so that way it really locks everything in place. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this section from right here to, because I'm going to be making the next curve. So it's going to go from here to the bottom of this curve. This is where I'm going to be attaching this part of the rope to this rope underneath. When you do this section, I want you to pay attention to how many times you wrap this rope here, and make sure you write it down, because that's how many times you're going to be wrapping going forward. That way you don't have to measure every single time you do this. If you do the same count, then your waves are going to be the same size going around. Okay, so, and I will say, I find that wrapping this section here is actually the first part, because we're just getting going with this design and it's loose. So what you can also do, if you want to use a clip to hold this in place, that's fine too. I usually don't, because my yarn gets caught up on the clips. So I just hold it with my hands as tight as I can. Okay, so I'm gonna go around. So that's one. And I'm twisting here, and it's because I'm not holding it against my body, just so you know. If this starts to twist, not a big deal, we'll twist it back. So that's one. And then two. Three. Four. Five. Okay, so I wrapped around 11 times, and now I am going to hold this down, and I'm going to do a figure 8 stitch right here. Okay, so I'm going to take my needle, and it's going to go through these two ropes here. And now it's going to go in between these two ropes here. And now I'm just going to wrap. Okay, that's two. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap the rope, making my design here until I get to this section here, because this is where I'm going to be attaching the ropes. And I'm going to go off camera for this part, but I will meet you back when it's time to attach these. Okay, and now I'm back. And I wrapped this section from here to there 20 times. Now keep in mind, I'm using a really thin yarn, so With the thin yarn, I'm going to wrap it way more times. If you're using a thicker yarn, you might only wrap 5 times between here and there. So it just all depends. But again, so we're going to do the figure 8 stitch. So now this yarn is going over there, and I'm going to hold it in place. And I'm going to bring my yarn through here. Okay, there we go. I'm going to hold it all together, and then I'm going to bring my yarn around the top here. And now this needle is going to come around here. Again, keep on switching my hands to hold this yarn in place on the rope. Again, if you need to use clips to help you out. Once we're beyond this first section and we get the first few waves in place, this is going to be a lot easier. It's just these first couple of waves, just getting everything together. It just takes a little bit of, it can just be a little bit cumbersome at first. Okay, so we're going to finish the stitch there. Okay, so now we have this locked in place. I'm actually going to wrap it one more time to make sure it's super secure. Okay, there we go. And so now I'm going to wrap this next section of rope. That's going to go from here all the way back down to here, because now we're starting the process over again where I am attaching these 2 ropes here. So again, pay attention to how many times you're wrapping the rope, because that's the number that you're going to need to remember. So just to go back from here to there, I wrapped 11 times. From here to there, I wrapped 20 times. Now I'm going to remember how many times I wrap from here to there. And then I'm just going to be repeating those numbers as I go around. I'm going to go off camera to wrap this section, and then I will meet you back here. Okay, so I have wrapped the next section, and I actually wrapped from here to there. I wrapped 25 times. So the numbers I'm going to remember are 11, 20, and 25. And I will just keep on going with those. You can see I have a tail here. I did add a new piece of yarn as I was wrapping this section, and I'm leaving a little bit of a tail because I want to incorporate it more as I go around. But first I'm going to do the figure 8 stitch to join these 2 ropes together here. Oops. Okay. So I'm bringing my yarn through here, so it's towards me. And now I am taking my needle and I'm going through the space here. And pull all the way through. I'm going to pull nice and tight, and I'm going to use my right hand here, and I'm going to put it behind the yarn here to hold it in place. So I can use my left hand and bring that yarn through. Okay, and now I'm going to pull nice and tight because I want this figure 8 stitch locked into place. And now I'm going to go around this rope. So to do so, as I hold everything with my left hand, I'm going to go around, and now my yarn needle is going to come underneath here and pull through. I'm going to switch hands, so I'm going to hold this yarn in place with my right hand on the rope. And I'm going to bring it all the way through and pull really tight and lock it into place. And now, just to make it nice and extra secure, I'm going to go around one more time. And pull through. Okay, there we go. So now I know it is nice and secure. So here is the start of the design. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap, I already wrapped once, but so I'm going to wrap 10 more times from here to this section here. And I'm going to then do another stitch to secure that in place. Okay. So now I'm going to do a figure 8 stitch right here. It's going to go through. I'm just going to do a little bit of adjusting of my design here. Because this wasn't, there we go. Okay. So now I'm using my right hand and I'm holding that yarn in place. Bring this through. Actually, I'm going to snip off the tail because that's just getting in the way and I know it's in place now. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to pull that nice and tight to make sure that's locked in place. And I'm going to go around again. And now I'm going to wrap 20 times. Okay, so I've wrapped around 20 times. And so now I'm going to do the figure 8 stitch right here to secure these in place. And while I'm thinking about it, you know, I'm doing the same number of wraps in between each stitch. But if you want to break out your ruler periodically just to make sure that the height of each wave is consistent as you go around, that's fine. Because keep in mind too, sometimes depending on the material that you're using, the thickness can change. Also your tension, if you're pulling really tight on your yarn in one section, but then you're doing it a lot looser in another section, the number of wraps might change in between the stitches. So do keep that in mind. Okay, so now we're going to go back and just do the figure 8 stitch here. And I know I definitely have a tendency to vary my tension. Sometimes I wrap a lot tighter, sometimes I wrap a lot looser. It just has a tendency to change sometimes. Okay, so I got that around. There we go. Now locking that one in place. I'm gonna go around one more time just to make sure it's extra secure. And so as we keep on going around, just go ahead and make adjustments to the wave because the rope will want to bend a little here and there. And so just make adjustments. It'll eventually even out as we go around. Okay, so now I've done the next section of wraps. For my yarn, I did it 25 times. So now I'm bringing this down here. And I'm going to go through this space here. There we go. Ooh. So I'm going to bend that down a little bit more. I like to eyeball everything, but I want to make sure that everything is even here. Okay. all of this in place. Look around. Okay. One more to make sure it's really locked in place. Okay. And making some adjustments if need be. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm actually going to do a few more sections of this design off camera. And then I'm going to come back on and show you how everything starts to become more secure. And then I'll actually be able to do a lot more wrapping on camera, because then I won't have to like hold everything down in place really tightly. And then I will also show you how to add more yarn if you don't already know how to do that. And of course, I will eventually go all the way around and show you how I kind of finish off the design. So hang tight, stay tuned, and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. And you can see that I have gotten quite a bit of this basket done. So I'm going to just do a little bit more and see if I can stay on camera and show you how I do it. So first I got to the point here where I'm going to add another piece of yarn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the end of my new piece. I'm going to lay it on the rope and I'm going to wrap around a few times. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that new piece and it's going to go under the rope. And actually what I'm going to do before I start wrapping, I'm going to pull on my rope. So I'm going to shorten that tail that's laying on the rope and I'm going to bring it right there. Now that's where the actual rope is. Because of this yarn, it's a little fancy. So I have, I don't even know if you can see it, but this string here. So I'm actually going to cut that one off. But that way you won't, I don't have to cut the end and you won't see it. So anyway, so back to what I was doing. Okay, so the new yarn is going to go over and I'm just going to continue with the wrapping process, all while incorporating the tail of the old piece of yarn to the rope. Okay, now I have to stay focused so I can count. I think this is 7. Okay, so that's 20. I'm going to bring the rope up. And I'm going to now bring this rope through. Sometimes it's easier. You can take the needle and bring it through. What I like to do is just push this part of the yarn through, and then I just pull it on through the center. And I lose my needle, but honestly, it's not a big deal because I don't need the needle at this point. Okay, and then I hold it nice and tight. Bring it around. Hold everything in place. Okay. and then back to wrapping. Okay, so that's 25. I'm just going to bend it down. And even as I wrap this piece, I kind of start to shape the rope and bend it down. So that way, when I go to attach it, it does so nice and easy. So same thing I did before, I'm going to bring this down and I'm going to hold it with my left thumb in place. And then I'm just going to push that rope through and just pull it all the way through. Okay, now I'm just going to pull it nice and tight. Hold that in place. Bring that under. Hold it in place again. Bring it under, so that's that first wrap. And that way you know it's nice and secure. Okay, so now I'm just going to wrap it 10 more times for my basket. It's going to be different for your basket. Just remember how many times you're wrapping each section. Okay, and so now I'm going to attach it to this round right here. So for this, I need my needle back on, so I'm going to go ahead and thread that. Okay, so I'm going to just insert my needle through here and pull that through. And then kind of just do a little adjusting of the rope as needed. Okay, hold it in place. Bring it under. I'm just pulling it nice and tight here because I like to make sure that where each part of the rope is attaching, it's just really nice and secure. Okay, so now I'm going to go around again. Okay, and so now to attach the rope up here, pull that through, secure this nice and tight, and then bring it around and do my figure 8. I'm gonna wrap it again to secure it. Okay, so now as you're doing this basket, I want to show you how, I don't know if you can see, but the wavy design isn't all perfectly aligned, but you'll notice that it moves. So I'm going to show you from the top here. It slides like that with the figure 8 stitch. So all you have to do is make those little adjustments and you know, go around, and it'll slide into place. So then it is nice and even all the way around. So when you do your final coiling around the top, it'll be nice and even. I'm actually going to just do the rest of the basket off camera because I just wanted to show you on camera how I do this. And then I'll come around back to the beginning here and show you how I start the next round on top. Okay, so I have now finally made it all the way back to the beginning, and I'm going to show you how we're going to kind of just finish off this round. so you can keep going with more rounds to finish off your basket here. So what I'm going to do is, you can see here how I did the figure 8 stitch here, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to continue wrapping this rope, and I'm going to attach it one last time at this point right here. Okay, so now that I have this all together here, what I'm going to do is whoops, all right, I'm going to have to redo that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap the rope to about here. So it's probably about like an inch and a half of rope. And then I'm going to, in this process, I am going to incorporate my next color. I'm going to go back to the t-shirt yarn that I was using. And I will show you how to do that. Okay, so I've started to wrap this section of rope. My yarn's actually really long and it doesn't need to be. But I'm not going to bother cutting it off because I like to save my scraps, because you never know when you are going to use them. Okay, so I'm going to start to incorporate the t-shirt yarn. I'm going to lay it on top. And just, I'm going to keep on wrapping with the accent yarn here. Okay, just a few more times. Okay. So actually I'm going to, and I just do this all by eyeballing it and seeing what looks good to me. And I think I actually wrapped a little too much with this accent yarn. So I'm going to take just 3 wraps out. Okay, so that looks a lot better to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start wrapping with the t-shirt yarn. But before I do that, you can see I have the little tail of the t-shirt yarn sticking out right here. So I am going to pull on it. So I'm going to bring that end just underneath that accent yarn. Okay, now I'm going to start wrapping. Do one more time here. Okay. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that t-shirt yarn over, and I'm going to be making a figure 8 stitch to incorporate the top of this wave here. So it's going to go over, and I'm going to push all that yarn through that center. That tail out of the way. Okay, so make sure that's even there. Pull up and tighten that yarn. So now my t-shirt yarn is going to come under that, well, under the rope. Pull nice and tight so that way it locks it in place. And now I am just going to continue to wrap the rope until I get to the next wave top. And in the meantime, I'm going to cut off the tail of that accent yarn because I don't need that anymore. Okay, I think that looks good. I'm going to do that figure 8 stitch there. Actually, I take that back. I'm going to do it one more time. One more wrap. Okay, now we're going to do the figure 8 stitch. And then just keep on wrapping. And you are just going to repeat this process all the way around. And you can see over here how the wave got a little wonky. So just go ahead and adjust it so it's nice and even. You can do it ahead of time, or you can do it as you are just wrapping. But as you do this part, everything's going to even out really nice. So I'm just going to stop the tutorial here. Of course, please feel free to reach out if you have any questions. But the rest of this basket, as you go around and just keep on going, you can just do it as you would any other basket. I really hope that you found this tutorial really helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel.